I'm Courtney, and this is Court Studio. Welcome. Every Thursday and Friday, I go live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Thursdays, I concentrate on like makeup and makeup training. And then Fridays, I talk about whatever's on my mind. So today, whatever's on my mind is my cancer story. I am an 8-year cancer survivor, and I'm going to just share my story with whoever wants to listen. It was a crazy experience, and it was not fun, but I learned so much spiritually and just overall for life. It's going to get emotional, as it already is, but anyways, I'm here to share my story. I will get through this. Alright, so basically, I guess I'll tell you what cancer I had and then just tell you the story of how I found out and all that stuff. So I had stage 3 triple negative invasive breast cancer. It was weird. The symptoms were a lot like inflammatory, so I don't know if it was just really inflammatory or invasive, but either way, stage 3 triple negative. Stage 3, just so I guess I'll educate you on that, like the stages. So like stage 1 is like in the very beginning when there's just like a little bit of cancer cells that have broken out a little bit, but they haven't like spread. They're still kind of contained in a spot. Stage 2 is it's spread, but it's only in the breast area. And then triple negative means it's spread to other areas, but it's still contained in, you know, a good spot. Like usually it will go in the lymph nodes, which lymph nodes are like the things that are like all over your body, especially like under your arm, in your back. Like they're just throughout your whole body. It's what circulates the fluids and stuff. And then stage 4 is when it's no longer contained and it's just kind of in your body elsewhere, and you know, it's spread to organs and stuff. So that's kind of like the base of cancer stages if you're not familiar with it. And then triple negative, so there's all these different things that you can be positive to, like estrogen positive cancer or like HER2 new. You know what, I'm gonna look and see. I've got a little cheat sheet here. Oh no, in my notes, I forget for that last one. So yeah, there's a third one. I don't remember what it is. If you know what it is, put it in the chat, and so I can see it, because I just cannot remember that third one. But yeah, so triple negative though means that it's none of those, and it means that the doctors don't know what is causing the cancer, and so the cancer is very aggressive. Triple negative is super aggressive, and it's scary because, yeah, the doctors don't know how to stop it. So it's like extra fast growing, and the doctors don't know how to stop it, and so they scramble on the treatment plans to help it go away. So let's see. I will say there are many people that have been affected by cancer or know someone who's been affected by cancer, so big hugs to you. And also, let's see, what else? I don't know. What was I gonna say? I totally forget. Oh yeah, there are different treatment plans too. So like someone could have like stage 1 and another person could have stage 1, and they will get different treatments just depending on their specific body. So it's very personalized. I mean, there's definitely a handful of medicines that can go to each person or whatever, but the combination, the quantity, and just the way that they give it is personalized. So yeah, it totally affects everybody so differently. So let's see. All right, ready for my story on how I even found it? It is so weird. Okay, so this happened 8 years ago. I'm considered young to have breast cancer, but there's others that are younger and people like me too. I guess in my head growing up, I just imagined like, oh, you only get cancer like when you're older, and so that was just in my head. And 5 years prior to me finding out I had cancer, my mom had actually had stage 1 triple negative as well. And apparently it's a genetic thing, like triple negative, the BRCA genes. There's like BRCA1 gene, BRCA2. Those are very genetic. So if you have like one of those genes, which I do, I have the BRCA1, it means that you are also susceptible to other kinds of cancers, a higher percentage compared to, I guess, the general population. So kind of interesting. So yeah, if you find out that someone in your family has like a BRCA gene or like a triple negative thing, you will want to get checked, and you'll want to let your doctor know that somebody has it, so that when you get checked, you don't get charged like a crazy amount. Like it's covered medically because it's like in the history of your family, so it's considered covered. Let's see. So now let's start with my story. So okay, if you're a girl watching, you'll know what I'm talking about. So every year you have like the gyno check, whatever. You have to go to the doctors, get checked out, make sure all is well. And at that doctor's appointment, they do a breast exam, make sure that you don't have lumps and stuff like that. And every single time, the doctors always ask, hey, have you been checking every month? Because you're supposed to check once a month. And you know what? This goes for guys too. There are guys who also get breast cancer. I feel like flipping subjects. Okay, seriously though, if you're a guy, you need to get checked too. It's not just a girl thing. And I feel like guys are more intimidated to like, oh no, I've got breast cancer, but I don't have breasts, or does that mean it looks like I have breast, or whatever, get all self-conscious. It's not that. Like, it can happen with just genetics. But yeah, guys, you can get it too, and guys don't always get treated as fast because they don't check as fast either. But so anyways, I was gonna have my yearly appointment, and so I was like, okay, they always ask like, okay, have you done your monthly check? And I always have to say no. And so this time I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a check, and so that I can say yes. That way I can be like, yep, I do it, even though it's just right before the appointment, because, hey, yeah, I did it, right? So I was like, okay, so I checked, and right then, it was like, ugh, the emotions still come, because it's such a traumatic experience for me, still to this day, 8 years later, but it's just, I can feel that moment, just standing there in the bathroom, just like, holy shit. I don't know if I can say shit on this, but that was my words. Holy shit. And I was just like, what the heck? Like, how did I not notice this? So the lump that I felt was not just, oh, there's a little bump in here. This is kind of interesting. I don't know if it's anything, because as women know, you can get bumps and stuff just naturally, just part of our bodies. So yeah, little bumps and stuff can scare us, because we're like, well, is it cancerous, or is this just one of those normal things? So yeah, when the bump was there, I kid you not, it was 3 inches by 2 inches tall, and I am not exaggerating. My thought process was, how the hell did I not notice this? Like, what? Like, when did this pop up? But seriously, like, how did I not notice this huge lump? Because that's not small. That's big. That is big. And apparently I found it at stage 3. So I have, once again, triple negative, grows really fast. So I don't know how long it took to get that big, but I was just like, how did I not notice this? And yeah, it was on this side. That's why I keep going on this side. Natural. So yeah, it was just like, how did I not notice this? And then all of a sudden, I just started thinking, like, going back, like, okay, now these things that happened, like, this last couple months are making sense. Let's see, April, May, June. So it was like 2 months prior, I got new bras. So I thought, well, it does rub right here. That's when it started to feel a little sore, a little, just different. And so I was like, it was probably the new bra. That's what my thought process was in April. Ow. And then in May, I was like, well, May and June. I found it at the beginning of June. So, like, right before I found it, I was like, oh, I feel really bruised. Like, maybe my husband bumped me with his elbow or something when I was asleep. And And I'm like, it feels really bruised. It's very sore, you know, like, I don't know, just feels sore. I just have a big bruise. Those were my only symptoms. Like, that's all I felt. And so then to find the big lump was just like, what the heck? Like, I was just like so dumbfounded. Like, how did I not feel this sooner? So that was a big shocker. And so then my immediate thought is, great, my husband's out of town. He happened to be out of state when I found the lump, and I was like, oh crap, like he can't just run over here. And so then I was like thinking like, well, maybe it's not really cancer, like, because in the back of my mind I was like, this is cancer, like there's no way that this is not cancer. But my mom just had cancer like 5 years ago, so I'm going to talk to her and see if, you know, maybe she had different symptoms, and so, you know, this is something else. Because I was like, I don't know, like this is just really scary. So I called my mom up and I was like, hey, you know, when you had the cancer 5 years ago, what were your symptoms? Like, what did it feel like? And she was like, oh, I didn't feel anything. I was at stage 1, so it was small enough. They caught it in a mammogram. So, yeah, that was it. It wasn't like a big painful thing, you know? And I was doing research online. I'm like, okay, does breast cancer hurt, whatever? And everything that I was pulling up, I don't know if it's changed online, but when I was looking at Dr. Google, it said that cancer is not painful. So you're not going to have painful, you're going to have discharge, which I did not have any discharge, like from the nipple area. I don't know if I can say that on here. We're talking about breast cancer here. So I didn't have those. I didn't have like all these symptoms. I was like, there's nothing here, like no. And then I ran across the inflammatory breast cancer, and it was just like, yep. And then I was like freaking out in my head, like, oh my gosh, like this might be something. And you know, of course I don't know, so it's like, is it not, like my brain's gonna explode, like I'm freaking out. So anyways, I called my husband, let him know that I have this bump that I just found, whatever. And anyways, I freaked him out, of course, but I'm like, no, stay there, you know. He had the rest of the weekend before he could come home. But yeah, it was just, that was the scariest moment. And I found out on like a Friday or Saturday, I don't remember, and then I had to wait until Monday. It was probably a Friday night or Saturday morning. That's my guess, because it was after the doctor's offices were already closed, but I had to wait until Monday, which was not the next day. I had to wait till Monday to then call the guy now and be like, okay, I actually need my appointment a little earlier if you can. So I call him up. I have to wait through the weekend till Monday, call them up, get the appointment. They actually had me take a prescription, because they thought, oh, it's probably just a clogged something, some infection that's pretty common, so go ahead and take this medicine for like a week. Maybe it was 2 weeks, I don't know. It might have been a 2-week medicine. So they're like, just try this and see if it helps, and then we'll go from there. So I'm like, okay, nervously taking it, like, yeah, I hope this is gonna fix it. Like, yeah, I hope. So I took the medicine, and while I'm waiting for the time to be up, I'm noticing that this bump area is getting redder. Like there was like a tiny little pink spot, like where it was, and then like after just this week, it was just like a little more red, a little warmer to the touch. And so I was just like, this is getting worse. This is not getting better. So of course I'm calling the doctor, like, help me. This is getting worse. Like, I really need you guys to check this out. Like, I'm freaking out here. So they go ahead. They're like, okay, stop the medicine, because it shouldn't be getting worse. It needs to be getting better with that. And so then, yeah, so I got an appointment. I went in, and they checked it out, and this is what's so interesting to me. You know, I gotta write this down really quick. One moment, please. Don't mind me. Okay, so so this is something I noticed through this whole journey. Doctors did not like to tell me everything. And I'm thinking it was probably so that I didn't freak out as anyone would kind of like be freaking out inside, like, do I have cancer? Like, what? But at that doctor's place, they just said, they gave me the check and they said, okay, well, we'll get you an ultrasound. So I was like, okay, and, you know, just to be sure, and we'll also give you a mammogram, just to be sure. And then they happened to mention, hey, just so you know, this place is rated one of the top places for breast cancer. So if it does end up being something, like, you're in good hands, but I wouldn't worry about it. Like, yeah. So it's like, that's interesting. And of course I'm wanting to just not face reality and just be like, yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing. We're good. So I go into the ultrasound area. I'm going to go get my ultrasound, and I sit down and I'm looking around, and everybody is like way older than me. Like way older than me. And I'm like, shit, like this is, wonder what's going on. Like, I'm a little freaked out. Like, I shouldn't be here yet. Should I? Like, is this happening? Like, this is just very odd. Like, I feel very alone here. Like, I don't know what's going on. Hold on one second. Thirsty. So, I get the ultrasound done. Get the mammogram done. It's my first mammogram. You know, you're not supposed to really get those until you're like, what, like 45 or something? 40, 45, I don't know. 55. I don't even know what the normal age is, but I got mine done really early. And then, so after the mammogram, they're like, you know what? Let's do an MRI too, just to really get a good picture of this. So, I got the MRI, and that nurse there, I read right through her. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I had the biopsy first. Okay. Let me reverse. Okay, so I had a biopsy first. The biopsy they did, that was very uncomfortable. Do you want me to go through the details of a biopsy? They literally, like, put this needle in you, take what they need, and you're off. Yeah, very, very uncomfortable. But anyways, got it done. The results came back that it was pre-cancer, so it wasn't like quite fully cancer, like stage 1 or anything. It was like pre-cancer, so they're like, oh, okay, it's not really bad. But the doctor, thank goodness, the surgeon doctor who read that result, he listened to his intuition. So, you know what? As a note to everybody in the world, always follow your intuition, your gut feeling, because there's a reason why you're feeling a certain way that you are. Like, there's a reason. So just always follow your gut. Because thank goodness that this doctor did. Because his gut was saying, this result says precancer, but the size of this lump says cancer to me. So he was like, I feel like it maybe got taken in the wrong spot. Like, I want to do another biopsy. So that's what happened. He did another biopsy, and so I had 2 biopsies going through all that, which sucked. But whatever, they did it in a different spot. That result came through. Paperwork happened. They gave me the paperwork. I saw malignant on there. Me not knowing what the heck that was, I was like, okay, whatever. I have to go take these papers to get an MRI because they want a really good check on everything, like a full-on vision, picture of what's going on. And so that's where the nurse there said something to me when I'm like in pretend land, like nothing's really happening, that it hit me like, I think something's going on. I'm like, that word, something in that word means something. And of course no one would say like, yeah. They're just kind of like, I don't know, like, we'll see. So anyways, I go into the MRI, get that done, and what that nurse said, it just hit me, because she was like, you know what? She's like, have you read the results or anything? And I was like, no, I don't know what's going on. And she's like, I just want you to know that you're going to be okay. And it just hit me, because I was like, what? Like I think you know something, but you're not telling me. So she was just trying, of course, to make me feel okay and feel like everything's fine. Sorry, I'm bawling. Thank you. I'm cancer free. It's just so emotional to tell my story still. But the nurse there just touched my heart because it's like she knew the result. She knew that I didn't know, and she gave me a really positive, like, you're gonna be okay. And it just kind of hit me odd, like, one, why are you saying that to me? And two, you must know something. And three, maybe I am gonna be okay. Oh, you're too sweet. Sweetheart. So yeah, so then I had to wait for the doctors, the result after the MRI. He went to the doctor, the surgeon, and then that's when I was called in, and luckily I had family with me. Of course, my husband was by my side. I had two of my 3 sisters were with me, and we went into the office, and they said, hey, yeah, it's cancer, stage 3, triple negative is what they figured out. And I was just like, okay, the doctor's just going like mode of like, okay, we gotta take care of this like right now. So they're like, here's your plan. You're gonna go see this doctor like right now. So they literally sent me to the oncologist like right then. They're like, all right, you've got cancer, let's get you started on treatment. So it's like, oh, okay, like everything just like happened so like fast. It was just like, oh my gosh, like what's happening? So I'm so glad that I had like family with me, because there's no way that I would have been able to like pay attention to like what they're saying, because at that moment it was just like words going over my head, like I have no idea what's happening except that I have cancer, and I can't even comprehend that much because, oh my gosh. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. And I wish the best for you too. So I went and met my oncologist, and she's the sweetest lady, and I will forever be grateful for her, because she's who saved my life. Like, she gave me the right treatments, listened to her intuition as well, so always listen to your intuition. And she gave me treatments, I found out later, just a little bit differently than what the norm was. Some of the nurses said, usually people get this treatment first, or this medicine, but of course, like, everyone has different medicines, but it was just like the order of it was a little different. So, I mean, trust the doctor, trust your oncologist. They know what they're doing. If you don't trust them, then get a new doctor, because they're the ones that are saving your life. So yeah, it's really important to trust the doctor. So we set up a date to get started with the chemo, and it happened quick. It was just like boom, 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 let's get this cancer out, because yeah, it was big cancer and it had to get out of there quick. So luckily, a positive thing about the triple negative is it responds the best with chemo, which I didn't know at the time. So it was really cool that I had triple negative in a way. I'm looking at the bright side, because yeah, it was going to be good with the chemo. I was not looking forward to the chemo. So I ended up getting 16 treatments of chemotherapy, and I had 4 medicines within that 16 treatment period. I had double mastectomy after that. That was the plan. And then 5 weeks of radiation after that. So that was like the treatment plan that they're like, okay, here you go. And it's a good thing, because there's no way I could have decided to like go on with the treatment or get that double mastectomy or whatever unless I was told to do it. So they were really cool that they just said, okay, you need to do this. So I did. Yeah. I was just on like survival mode, like, okay, just tell me what to do, because I'm just gonna be doing it. So yeah. And then let's see, my husband, he was like super supportive the entire time, and I am just so grateful that he was there to help me. He was able to, with his work's approval, he was actually able to bring me to every single cancer treatment, which was so helpful. And then he was able to bring me back, and then he'd have to go to work and whatever. And I gotta say, like, those treatments, they're rough. They're really, really rough. So I ended up, losing my hair, of course. The whole story with that, so like when I first got my treatment, my oncologist said that, yeah, you'll probably lose your hair within the first week, maybe 2. And yeah, she was right on. She was right on that, and it was like the freakiest thing. And this was probably the most traumatic thing for me. Well, okay, losing my boobs, that's definitely traumatic, but losing my hair, which happened first, was so hard for me because I have always had long hair. It was a lot thicker then. I'm like, it's pretty thin now, but it was a lot thicker, but very long. I've always had really long hair, and it was just like I brushed my hair, and then suddenly I'm looking at my brush, and it's got a lot more hair than just a few pieces. Because when you have long hair, you brush your hair, and you're gonna have like a few pieces in your brush. You can see it, but it was just like, whoa, there's a lot more hair than normal. Like, that's pretty thick. That's kind of scary. And then like showering, it was just like, whoa, like there goes a lot of hair. And so I decided to just cut it, not shave it. I just couldn't do it mentally. I was like, I cannot shave my head. But I was like, I can cut my hair. So I put my hair in like a bunch of ponytails and just had to cut it. And I think I actually cut it in 2 stages because I was like, cut it slow, and then, okay, we gotta do this. And it was such a process. And I mean, I tried to document too of just the experience. In fact, I got a journal. This thing is full. Oops, can't see it anymore. This thing is full, and I mean, I got to the very end where it's like, there's like no paper left. Hold on, let's see if I can do that. I started writing really tiny because I ran out of room, and then I got another journal so I could like continue it. But yeah, I decided I was going to document this experience, and so every single day I wrote how I was feeling in this book and what happened, and pretty much just a documentary of every single day while I was going through chemo. And it's amazing to look back at this. It's also very hard to look back at it and even talk about it, but I just feel like there's so much information in here, and just like the way I was feeling, the way that things happened, it was like I could see everything just happen the way it did for a reason. Like, I truly believe God was guiding me to the places that I needed to be. Because for one, I was living, let's see, originally I was in Texas, and then my husband had gotten a job in Alabama, and we moved to Alabama. And then a month after moving to Alabama, I find out I've got cancer. And then I'm able to take leave. My work was so kind, and they let me take leave while I was on chemo treatments, which is amazing because most jobs would just kind of be like, okay, bye, like we can't, no, whatever. But no, they kept me on that disability so I could afford to pay these big medical bills that come in, or at least do the payment plans, because oh my gosh, do you guys know how expensive chemo is? Just for like one medicine, and usually when you get a treatment, you get at least 1 to 2, or at least I did. So it was like one medicine, I think, was like 60-70 grand, like $1,000, 60 to $70,000 for one medicine, and that's just like for one treatment, one medicine. And it was like I was getting 4 medicines over a course of 16 treatments, which usually I had like 2 going on. So it's just like cha-ching for the chemo. Medical world, holy crap, it's not cheap. Luckily, insurance did cover a big chunk, a very big chunk. Otherwise, yeah, that would have been insane. But yeah, so there's that. All right, where was I? I have a little list going so I don't like miss anything. Oh, I will say, I'm going to skip down here. So, through my journey, I noticed, no, I'm not going to skip to that yet. Okay. I'm just going to go with the treatments. So I'm getting the treatments. So after that first time, yeah, I lost my hair. So yeah, I cut it off and then cut it shorter, and then it just, it came to a point where it just had to be shaved. It was just like falling out and just getting everywhere on the pillowcase and just everywhere. And it was just a very sad day. So I couldn't shave it myself. I had to have my husband do it. And it was just like, I was just documenting everything. So, I mean, I have a picture of me right after I shaved my head with mascara rolling down my cheeks because it was just so sad just to be like, bye. Like, like I don't have a choice, but I gotta do it to live, right? So it's like live and die or cut your hair and live. Like, you know, it is what it is. So I just had to do what I had to do. The doctors know what they're doing. At least these doctors did. And yeah, they're amazing. So, let's see. What else? Oh, yeah. So probably the second treatment that I got something, I wish I remembered the medicine for it. Okay, so I got Taxol and carboplatin in the beginning for like the first 12, whatever. I think I got the carboplatin like 4 times and the Taxol like 12 times. And then I also got this shot like I think it was just once a month. And it was supposed to help put my body in a state of menopause because the medicines that, let's see, the other two, I gotta look it up because they're heavy duty. One, I know some people call it the Kool-Aid medicine or the Red Devil. There are a couple red chemos. So one of them was, where did I put it? Cytoxin was one I got 4 of. That stuff's terrible. And then this is the red one. It was Iprubicin or something like that. If you can like figure that out, that's what the red one was for me. I know there's one with a C, but I got the E one. The one with an E that was red. That stuff made me sick. But anyways, before I got that sick, let's see. Whoops. I'll cross that off. Okay. So anyways, after the first couple chemos, after my hair's gone, whatever, I start getting this pain. And it's just like, it just kind of like hurts in my chest a little bit. And it's just like, I don't know, it just feels a little different. I feel like when I breathe, it's just like a little harder, but I mean, maybe it's okay. You know, of course you want to like psych yourself into being okay. Like, I'm okay. Like, don't freak out. I'm okay. But it was bothersome enough that I did tell my doctor, and she's like, oh, it's probably fine, you know, whatever. But by that 5th treatment, I was still complaining about it because I had kept saying it like for the past 3 times that, yeah, it's like kind of hurting in my chest still, just a little bit. And like walking just the short distance, I feel like I'm out of breath already. I'm thinking, well, it's the chemo. Like, I don't know, like chemo's supposed to like make you not have energy, right? Which, yeah, it does. But it was a little extreme for me. I just didn't know it. So yeah, so I was like, I'm just really short of breath. It's just, I have this little pain here, and it's just a little harder to breathe sometimes, you know, especially when I take a deep breath, I can feel just a little sharp pain, like, there it is, and then it's gone. So I talked to her, and she's like, well, you know what, you've mentioned it the past few times, let's just get you an ultrasound with some contrast, and we'll just check it out, but I'm not really worried about it, but that way we can at least make sure it's nothing. So I was like, okay, cool. So I had the ultrasound, or the CT scan, I think it was a CT, and sure enough, I had a blood clot in my chest. So, of course, I was like, dang it, like, now I have this blood clot in my chest, and I'm doing the chemo stuff, I'm on treatment 5, and I'm like, oh, why, like, this sucks. So then I had to start getting, blood thinners, blood thinner shots to help me, you know, not get more blood clots and die or whatever. So I had to deal with that. But I gotta say, like, during this whole experience so far, so I'm at treatment 5 out of 16, but like the whole time, it was like my mind, I was in survival mode, but my mind, I had to like keep staying positive. So I kept trying to look at the positive things in everything. For example, I was originally supposed to get my treatments on Monday because my doctor said, "Hey, what day of the week do you want to feel your best?" So I was like, Saturday or Friday. And she's like, "Okay, then you want your treatments on Monday because in the beginning, it gets down from there." Oh my gosh. You are so sweet. Oh, you're so sweet. Roll a hug. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. Okay. You're like, you're already crying. No, oh gosh, what was I saying? Totally baffled. I was not expecting that at all. Oh, thanks. Gosh, anyone want to help me out? Where was I? No. Okay, so yeah, I got the blood clot, whatever. Um, yeah, I totally lost my train of thought. I was just so not expecting that. So thank you. um, anyway, so I'm going through my journey, getting the chemo treatments, getting through it, and then just I want to say, oh yeah, so I was trying to find something positive in everything. So my chemo treatments were originally supposed to be on Monday, but the insurance like didn't quite catch up to when I was starting it, so I had to start it on a Tuesday, which Tuesday is my favorite day of the week. I just like the name Tuesday, whatever. So it was like I tried to take those positive little things and put it into my treatment. So I was like, well, yeah, I have to get treatment today, but at least it's Tuesday. So yay, it's Tuesday. So it was just like these little things I had to just think about, like, well, yeah, my hair's gone, but at least I have my life. It's just like these little, like, how can I say positive, and keep going. And then during the treatments, though, I noticed my energy, like, pretty quickly. It was just like I had none. And my whole body just felt yucky. Like, it's not even like ew, I don't feel good. Because, I mean, I didn't feel good. And it wasn't like, oh, I feel great. It was yucky. Like, that is the only word that I can think of, even still to this day, 8 years later, thinking, I just felt yucky. It's just a yucky feeling. And yeah, no energy at all. Like, so bad that I stayed in bed pretty much the whole time. So my chemo treatments went over a period of 5 months, or 6 months, was it? No, 5 months, because I started it in July, because it took like a month to do all the testing and really make sure it was cancer and not an infection, whatever. So yeah, I started in July and then ended in the beginning of December 3rd. I still remember. So yeah. So that whole time, I was mostly in bed. There was maybe a handful of occasions where my husband would be like, "Come on, let's go to the movies, or let's do this." This was before we had kids, which I can't imagine if I had kids going through this. Like, there's no way. Oh, I think God knew that I wouldn't be able to do that. But so anyways, he was like my cheerleader, like, "Come on, let's go do something." And so I'd push myself and go do it. But most of the time for that 5 months, I was laying in bed and just laying there trying to sleep. And I had the hardest time drinking water, which I gotta say, I hear this with all people who've gone through cancer that struggle with drinking water. But the nurses told me this is like the most important thing that you can do, because water is going to flush the chemo out of your body so that it's not sitting in your body and like eating at your body and like causing other issues, like GI issues. Like, it can really affect you. So yeah, I had a hard time drinking water though. And like if you know me, that's like all I ever drink. I rarely drink soda. Like, I'll drink like lemonade sometimes. But like I love water. And so I was like, oh man, how am I gonna do this? And like every sip was just making me nauseous. I had a lot of nausea, which they did give me lots of medicines to like help with that. They gave me lots of medicines to like help me feel the most comfortable I could. So that was helpful. So I found something though that worked. So if you know someone who is going through chemo or needs a little like goodie bag or gift bag, whatever, you need to send them a couple of these things. In fact, I'm just going to go off the list. You need to send them those little flavor things that you put in a drink. My favorite was the lemonade, and then I liked some berries flavor, but the lemonade seemed to be tart enough that it was okay. Because another thing too, so I'm a chocolate lover. I love chocolate. I love chocolate. Sounds so funny. I love chocolate. And I love Mexican food. Those are like my two faves. I couldn't eat them. It like made me sick. And also I heard too that if you eat like your favorite foods while you're going through chemo, you're not gonna like it later. And yeah, I had a little spell of that. Like it was hard for me after all of it to even eat my chocolate, to even eat my Mexican food. Now I can years later, but yeah, totally weird. I didn't want anything sweet. I didn't want fruit, no sugary fruits. Yeah, it's just, I didn't want anything like that. The only thing that I could really like swallow and really eat were veggies, which I'm not normally a big veggie eater, but man, during chemo, I was like eating really good. Like, yeah, veggies. But I did end up gaining quite a bit of weight just from all the steroids they had to give me. And I'm just laying there like, oh my gosh, dying. Oh my gosh, literally. But no, so chemo, if you're not familiar with what chemo is exactly, I did explain it a lot in the beginning of this video, so you'll have to go back. But chemo is like pretty much, it's so crazy to think about, but they're literally like giving you chemo to almost kill you, but not quite. So they're like bringing you to the brink of death as much as they can without killing you, to kill all your cells pretty much so that they like fix themselves and start fresh. And then you're like good again. So it's like a really creepy thought to think about like that. Yeah. Oh, and another thing too. So with my journal that I was keeping every day, like, yeah, there's a lot of entries in here that are like, I feel yucky today. Like, I just do. Which I think I'm gonna write a book. I've had this thought for quite a few years. I just have to buckle down and do it. But I'm thinking of doing like a biography, like literally just like, here's my book. Like, everything that's in here, that's my book. So I just need to actually like print it out and figure out how to do that. So yeah. But yeah, so all the journal entries, it's just like, ew, I feel yucky. But as I've noticed reading back through it, like from the beginning and then like reading on and on, I've noticed that my writing, it started getting very scattery. Like chemo brain is a real thing, and I swear sometimes I still have it. But, you know, doctors say that it's not possible to still have it, but dude, I think I do. I don't know, something's just a little off still. But maybe I'm just a little off. But anyways, I've just noticed in my journal, just reading through it, it's just crazy to see that it's just like, wow, my writing started really good, and then it was just like I was jumping everywhere, just like totally jumping my thoughts, and then they were just like kind of mismatched in places. It's so weird to read. So I don't know if I will keep it that way in the book if I write it. I don't know. It might be good to keep it that way. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Just like, wow, that like really scattered my brain. But sorry, I need water. Some side effects that I had, besides nausea, and of course water tasting nasty, and the weird food. My taste buds were totally off. They did come back. It took like, gosh, how long did that take? A good 8 months to a year for I would say a good year, until my taste buds were like back to normal. About the 6 month to 8 month mark, it was like, maybe it's okay. But yeah, it took a long time to taste like good food again. Chemo like dries out your whole body. So like, you get dried up. So having lotion, chapstick, those are like really good things. But you also want to be careful too. Like if you are going to make like a gift basket or something for someone, don't get really smelly stuff, because smells are like so intense when you're going through chemo. It's very bizarre. So anyways, like lotion, chapstick, like good lip balm, stuff that doesn't have a ton of wax, just like good healthy shea butter or just really smooth stuff is like amazing because that stuff dries your body out. And the hair you lose it everywhere. So I mean, it was nice not shaving my legs, so that was another positive thing, that I was just like, yeah, here's a positive, I don't have to shave, like, cool. Yeah, there's just so much stuff. It's hard to like just think of everything on there. But during my chemo though, I did end up having to get a transfusion twice, because the blood cell counts, they get too low sometimes with the chemo that it's like, yeah, you need a little help from people. So I definitely, big shout out to those people who donate blood. I've always been very like, oh, I can't do needles, whatever. Although chemo really changes stuff like that. But yeah, big shout out to people who donate blood because you guys help so many people. You have no idea. You probably don't have no idea how many people are like thanking you. So yeah, I'm so thankful for everyone who's donated. Because yeah, that was amazing that I was able to even do that. Because if I couldn't get a transfusion, then I would have to wait an extra week for my body to just kind of build itself up again before I could get a treatment, which would mean my cancer treatments would have been extended longer. Because my body just wouldn't be able to handle it. So it's like the transfusion really helped me be able to get my treatments and like get this done. Since I was just like, I gotta just do this. Okay, next treatment, just do it. So I I gotta tell you a funny story with the transfusion. So okay, so I'm afraid of needles. Not so much anymore, but like I was pretty afraid of needles. And so when I got the transfusion, I get kind of grossed out by stuff. I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't, but I do. So I'm like sitting there watching the blood from somebody else just go down the line, and then I watch it just go into my arm. And I'm just like, oh. Or no, it went into my port. I think they hooked it to my port. Or was it to my arm? Gosh, now I don't remember. Anyways, I watched that tube go all the way down and then go into me, and my blood pressure, went way up because I was like, oh my gosh, like I was like totally freaking out, like, oh my gosh, someone else's blood is going into my body, like, am I gonna be okay? Because they're like, we just gotta make sure that you're okay, watch out for certain signs, make sure that all is well, and I'm just like, oh gosh, I hope I'm okay. So I ended up being fine, but the lady there, she's like, I really need you to like just take a few deep, slow breaths because your blood pressure is shooting up way too high. Yeah, we need you to calm down. So it's like, okay, I can try. Like, I don't know. So pretty much the side effects of transfusion were excellent. I suddenly had all this energy. I was like, dang, I could like walk down this hall. Like, I'm good. Like, hey, I'm back. Even though I'm just like, ugh, inside. Like, I feel so sick. Yucky. But no, but it just gave me like energy. Like I could walk around like that next day. It was great. And then my feet, my ankles, they did kind of feel a little bit swollen. But yeah, it went away pretty fast. But yeah, the energy, that was amazing. So yeah, I had to get that done twice. I was really hoping my body could just knock out those chemo treatments without the help, but you know what? Sometimes you need help and you just got to be okay with it. And I'm okay with it. So, let's see. Checking off the list here. Chemo blank. Okay. Choo. Okay. Oh my gosh. I did write a lot on my paper. I just didn't want to forget some important stuff. So, let's see. Okay. So this is, what I'm about to tell you is what happened like towards the beginning of everything, like finding out I had cancer. I'm gonna get emotional again. Heads up. Gosh, hold on. I don't want to get emotional. I'm gonna drink some water. Distract this. Yeah. Okay. So, towards the beginning I'm okay. Towards the beginning of finding out I had cancer, and even in the beginning of wondering before I even found out, just the pressure and the stress of, do I have it? Do I not? Even though in the back of my mind I was like, I really think I do. It runs in the family now. I didn't know it did before. Now it does. And it's just like so stressful. The waiting, the wondering, that was so stressful. But yeah, and just wondering like, well, what if I do? Then what's gonna happen? What if I don't? Then what? Whatever. And I hate to say this, but part of me, I was working so much. Like, I was just a full-time worker, and I mean, I was used to 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Usually 2 to 1 job is what I did, but yeah, it was just like I was so drained. I was just so kind of bored, You just kind of get bored at your job sometimes. That I was almost like, I kind of want cancer just so I can have a break from work. And then I was like, that is like the worst thing to say. Like, you don't even know what you're saying. And yeah, I didn't know what I was saying. But it was just like, wow, like, it just like really drained me working so much. But then I would think like, okay, but what if it really is cancer? Like what if I die? Like, how am I gonna die? Like, what is that gonna feel like? Like, you just like start thinking, right, of the worst things. And I just remember, like, even after I had cancer, it was like things would pop in my head, like, oh yeah, you should just give up now. Like, you should just die now. Like, and it was just like, it was so weird though, because when the thought would come in, it was like my brain immediately, I actually like caught myself speaking out loud, and I was like, as if. And then I was like, whoa, who am I talking to? Like, Satan? Like, this is so weird. Like, it's just so weird. Like, I can really feel this, like, negative, like, crushing on me, trying to take all the positivity that I have, which I'm naturally a really, like, positive person, so it was just, like, so weird to, like, feel me be so, like, hit that way, like, you should just give up. And it was just like kind of cool to hear me say like as if, because it was like, no, like, no, you're not gonna win. Like, I am gonna get through this. Like, no. And also on top of that, it was like, it happened just a couple times, because after I was like, no, as if like that's not gonna happen, I had in my mind like, why the hell would I do anything? Why would I give up now when I've already gone through all of this? Like, that would be stupid. Otherwise, that meant I had done all of this for nothing. Like, I would not do that. That's stupid. So, it's like after I pushed out those negative feelings, like those few times, they didn't come back. And in fact, there was one time, I'm going to skip, there was one time where I actually let myself think, okay, what if I die? I think it was right, actually, I think it was right before I found out for sure if I had cancer, because I was like, what if I have cancer and what if I die? And it was just like, my thought was just like, whoa, like, I'm going down a rabbit hole here that I don't want to think about. And from that point forward, it was like, no, like the negative thoughts or whatever, after I thought, no, like, I need to stay positive here, because when you're going through something so crazy like that, the most important thing, is to stay positive and find those little positive things around you. Any little thing, like a Tuesday, because you like Tuesday, so your cancer treatment's on Tuesday, or yeah, you don't have to shave your legs, just like little things, like, you need to find positivity in everything, because it's there. And just the fact that my husband's job moved us to Alabama at that particular time to go through cancer, to go through chemo, and then this is what's crazy. After my treatments were over, I want to say, let's see, 6 months? 6 months after my treatments were over, we ended up moving to Texas. So it was like, we were in Texas, we happened to move to Alabama for this period of time that I needed to go with these doctors to have this treatment that this particular, oncologist wanted to give me, to have this surgeon decide to give me a second biopsy because he just had this feeling. And it's just like, wow, like, what are the chances? Like, I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, even bad things like cancer. And I mean, it's kind of hard to comprehend if it's not you going through it. But I gotta say, I had the most spiritual, positive experience of my life going through something that was the most terrible thing to go through. It's just like so weird that it's like I feel like I gained so much in my life going through something so terrible. It's like an oxymoron, you know? Like, what the heck? But yeah, it's just so crazy to think. So yeah, I could not let my mind ever think about the what ifs again. And my focus was, I'm going to live. And this is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to keep going. And, you know, at a point, I had talked to my dad, and I was like, you know, I'm not even getting to choose. Like, I think he had said something positive, like, oh, you're doing great, whatever. And I was just like, I'm not even trying. I'm not even doing anything. I'm just doing what I'm told. And he's like, yeah, but you could have given up, and you're doing your treatments like you're supposed to. You're doing it. And I guess that was a choice. I just never thought about it as a choice, but it's like, yeah, I guess I am doing a choice. I'm choosing to live. I'm choosing to do what the doctors tell me so that I can live. So, yeah, anytime I had a hard time with that, it was just like, no, I'm going to be okay. So, yeah, I did not let my mind go there at all. I just couldn't. I couldn't. And, yeah, I seriously just got the most closeness. I feel like the closeness to God that, like, yeah, He is real. Like, yeah, I can definitely feel like He's blessing me, you know, because sometimes I get into rut, like, who knows, like, is there a God, is there not? Of course, like, I'm Christian. I mean, I've always believed that there's a God, but it's like, when you really get those experiences, you're just like, damn. Yeah, it's true. And something that's really interesting that I want to share, it's not on my notes, but I feel like I should share it, is when I was going through the chemo, I don't know if I was just like such on the brink of death that I was close to the veil or not. I don't know. And you may think I'm crazy, but I know this happened. And it's just so weird to think, but I felt closer to people who had passed, and it was like I could almost feel like they were hugging me, like, "Hey, you're okay." And it was like cousins that had died from an aneurysm. That was one. Like, I felt him hugging me, like, "You're okay." And it was like I have not thought about that cousin like in years. Like usually if I think about people who've passed, I think of my grandparents, which I did. I felt like they were there too, but like I definitely felt my cousin, and I was like, dang, like I know he's there. Like I can't see him, but I can feel something. It's just weird. I didn't feel like a physical hug, like nothing like that. I just felt close. So I don't know if it's because I was dying or what, but but it was a really spiritual experience for me, and yeah, everything happens for a reason, and we might not know why they happen, and they may suck, but I believe that there is a reason why things happen the way that they do when they do. Sorry, I'm all snotty now. Ugh. So yeah, that's my spiritual experience there. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I got three big I got three big things. I can count. Um so I got three big things out of the whole chemo stuff. One is I needed to live life more than work, because I was putting work first in front of everything. It was just like, I gotta work. And my mindset was, okay, work first and then life. And after going through that, not being able to go to work, because it was just like so bad. Like,
I just had a really hard time going through everything. Maybe it's because there were so many. I don't know treatments, but yeah, I from that experience have learned to live life and not work. Enjoy life, enjoy things. That life is beautiful, and even going through like the next stage after the chemo, like going into the double mastectomy, because I didn't want to get rid of them. Maybe it's a girl thing, I know. But I didn't want to get rid of them, and it was just like I had this reminder of from my husband of it doesn't matter, like it's just a body part. He was just like it's just like a leg, an arm, and it was like when I thought about it like that, it made it easier because it's like okay, yeah, like let's just say oh, my arm has to be cut off for this. It's just an arm, so why is the breast so different? And I mean, I feel like it's probably because like I'm a girl, I should have them. So it's like I didn't want to lose them. It's like my womanhood. It's what makes me a girl, right? But yeah, it was just that was hard for me, and so I'm glad I had the support of my husband though to tell me that it's just a body part. Like your life is worth more than just pieces of skin, and it's like yeah, that's true. So okay, I guess I'll live, no, but yeah, so that was a big thing though. But yeah, focusing on living life and not work. And then the other thing too, so my chemo medicines, they were supposed to make me possibly infertile. They have that side effect where I would not be able to have kids. And so, a little backstory. So, my husband has always been kind of like baby hungry, and I've always been kind of like, oh, I don't think I'm ready. Like, I'm just too immature. Like, I don't know if I'm responsible enough to do that. Um, I was just really afraid of having labor. But it's so weird. But yeah, I was just kind of not ready to have kids. I was just scared to have kids. I just didn't know if I was ready. I didn't know how to know if I was ready and stuff. And so after hearing the doctor tell me that the medicines could make me infertile, I felt like crap because I was like, damn, I just ruined it for us. Like, if I had just had those babies before I got cancer, now I've just ruined it for me and my husband to ever have kids. And I was like, that sucks. Like, wow, that really sucks. So, anyways, during my treatment, when I had that menopause shot, whatever, what put my body into menopause, that actually protected my ovaries. So, I was actually able to have babies. And so, yay, blessing, like, um, and I guess what I was trying to say is like having that option taken away from me, like now you can't have babies, it made me realize how much I really was ready and how much I really did want to have babies. And I had thought I'd blown it. So, yeah, I was lucky enough to have some miracle babies and not even just one. Like, you want to hear something crazy? Should I just share my craziness? If you've read my bio, you'll know, but I had triplets. It wasn't first. The first, I had two pregnancies. So the first, I had a child, right? And then 2 years later, I had triplets. So those are my kids. I have four kids. But yeah, it's just like, what? Like, one, there's like, I know nobody with triplets in my family. So I was like, what the heck? Like, how do we have multiples on both sides? Like, what the heck? So, yeah, total miracle babies right there. Four kids after having all that chemo crap. So, yeah. So, yeah. But the thing is, if I hadn't gone through chemo, who knows if I would have been ready to have kids. So, yeah, you just don't know. So that was a huge thing. And then thirdly, just remembering to see the positivity everywhere. So, yeah, live life, not work. I'm ready to have kids and seeing the positivity every in everything, everywhere. So, yeah, those were the three big things that I learned. Let's see. Okay, so after moving forward, so after the chemo treatments, I had my mastectomy, the double mastectomy. That was interesting, very painful. I don't know how much you want to hear about this, but I won't go into too much. I won't go into gory details because that's like, that would be weird. But it's painful. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. And the medicine they gave me, it was like, here's some Prozac. Here's your half a baby Tylenol or whatever. Like after this huge surgery. So yeah, that was not fun. They did give me like Lortab or something, but that stuff makes me nauseous. Like I can't do that. But yeah, it was just like the baby medicines, probably because so many people get addicted to stuff, which I know can be really hard. So, I mean, I get it, but man, I was like, I'm in pain, like help me. But something too, if you know anyone who is going to get a mastectomy, double mastectomy, which is the removal of the breast, if you're not sure, if you're a guy, I don't know who's watching, but anyways, if you know someone who's going through that or has to go through it, you may want to get them a button-up shirt. Button-up shirts are the best when you have that surgery. That's the only thing you'll want to wear. Pajamas, button-up, comfy, convenient, easy to put on and off. Yeah, and then if you know a seamstress or are a seamstress, you could totally put like 2 little pockets on the inside towards the bottom of the shirt that's button up, because when you have a vasectomy, there's drains that wind all up in your body and then they poke out in these little bags, sacks that you have to wear for like, how long was that? Oh my gosh, like a week or something. So yeah, not fun, but it's just draining everything it needs to drain. So I know it's gross, but yeah, so that's the mastectomy part. I had to heal from that. And then after the double mastectomy, then I got 5 weeks of radiation. That was like the easiest stuff. That was the fun part. No, I'm just kidding. It's not fun. That was the easiest part of it all. So yeah, treatments, mastectomy, radiation. So 5 weeks of that. The radiation was just, it's kind of weird because you have to like put cream stuff on you because you're actually like getting burnt by these lasers, because it's like these lasers that like pinpoint on a certain spot. They actually do like a whole body mold like from waist up, so they like fit you so that when you wear it you're in the exact position you need to be in laying wise, like for these machines, this radiation machine, to help do something. I don't even know. So yeah, I had to get this mold and I'd have to sit in it every time. And it was like an everyday thing, Monday through Friday, 5 weeks. And you'd have to sit there for like 30 minutes or whatever with your arm up and just these really fun positions. But yeah, what am I saying? It would burn you. Like your skin would get burnt. My skin got burnt. And so I'd have to put like this cream on. It's like burn cream, just like really sensitive stuff. I was just red all over. Like, and they have like these little stickers. Some people used to do like tattoos, like back when my mom had to get radiation. So she has like these little dots on her skin forever now. But when I did it, they just had these little like stickers and they would just like have the crisscross thing on there so they would know like exactly where to point this like radiation. And those stickers would stay on for like a whole week before they had to like change them out sometimes. So yeah, interesting process, but I was so glad when that was over. And while I was going through those 5 weeks, my hair started to grow back. It was just like so amazing. It was just like these short little stubbles, and yeah, I took pictures of that too. But yeah, after my last radiation treatment, I was like, I'm done. Like it was just like this weight lifted off my shoulders. I was like, I'm done with my treatments. I survived. Like, woo, I'm done. And then one of the radiologists was like, she was acting like I had more treatments or something. So I don't know if like maybe people do radiation first. I don't know. But she was just kind of like, well, yeah, you're done for now. And I'm just like, I don't like I don't like what you just said. But no, I'm done. So I just have like checkups. At first it was like every 6 months. Triple negative can come back really fast because once again it's very aggressive, so it can come back really fast, and so you have to get checked off like quite often. And usually it comes back within the first 2 years is like your big target. You want to get past the hurdle. The first 2 years you want to get past that hurdle. And I mean, they do say like 5 years is like good, but especially for triple negative, get past those 2 years and you're golden. So, yeah, you get checked every 6 months, and then after, depending on your doctor, after either the 2 years or the 5 years, usually it's the 5, you would just get checked once a year. So now I'm just on a once a year schedule, and then I think once I hit 10 years, I think it's just a as needed basis. Like if I just feel like I might need to get checked. So I'm on year 8, so I've got a couple more years to go, and then I should be in the clear. Knocking on wood. So that is my cancer story. Let me think if there's anything else. I think I pretty much got everything. I guess the only thing I didn't mention was before I got my treatments, they did a PET scan on me, which that is amazing. Like it is like way more detailed than like an MRI or a CT scan. Like they get every little detail. So it's comforting to know, because it's like if there's something there, they're going to see it. So they did one of those before my treatments and then after my treatments to make sure I was in the clear. So yeah, it's almost like, what is it? Like black matter. Oh, what is it? Oh my gosh. Donnie would know if you're watching. What is it called? Anyways, so it's pretty cool stuff. Antimatter. I'm trying to think. They like put this stuff in you. Anyways, really interesting scan. I mean, I don't want to just go do one of those scans, but I like that it gave them a lot of information so that I don't have to worry about that. So, yeah. And then another thing too, so I did not get reconstruction. A lot of people do. My biggest reasons were, I hate surgeries. I hate getting knocked out. I hate needles. I just hate that kind of stuff. So it's like, if I have to do it, I'll do it, but I really don't want to do it unless I have to. I kind of wish I did some days, because it is annoying to like watch my shirts, whatever, because now I have like prosthetics. But I can have whatever size I want and be perky as hell. So there's a positive. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, I just didn't want to. At the time, the doctor that was going to do it was creepy, for one, but he made everyone look like blow-up dolls, and I was just like, yeah, I don't want to look like that. Like, no. So I haven't found a good surgeon, for one. And then two, I've met a lot of people who have gone through the reconstruction, and they all have had issues. Somewhere in the line they've had to have it fixed or adjusted, because it's not just like a normal like boob job. It's like, because your skin, when something's taken out, it's like cut into your skin, so you've got like caves or like weird shapes or whatever, from where they had to cut that cancer out, because they are getting all the margins around that spot where that cancer was, anything that cancer could have touched, so that it's out of your body. So yeah, it's not like a flat surface or an already, curve thing going on. So it's just like, things can happen. Your body can move, it can sink, it can adjust, and there's lots of tissue issues too, which I will say, 8 years later, so my side effects, I have 2, I can think of only 2 right now. I guess 3. I can't think of it. Okay, no. The main things that I have are, I get sharp pains, and it's just from nerve damage. Like, it's just my tissues trying to like reconnect and connect with the nerves and stuff. So I will still have some faint pains. Sometimes they're worse than others. Sometimes it's like a jabbing feeling, and I've asked my oncologist, she thinks it's normal. And I've asked again, it's still normal. So I guess it's normal. But yeah, I've done some research on it too, Dr. Google. But yeah, it's pretty common to still get like sharp pains, like where the nerves are like trying to reconnect and stuff. And then I will also get like ghost itches or whatever. Like I'll have an itch, but it's like when I itch it, scratch it, it's like I don't feel anything because I've got some numb areas. And also because I was stage 3, I had to, in my lymph nodes on this side, like where my cancer was. Cancer was over here. So they actually had to take some lymph nodes out too, which messes up your flow, like, because your body like flows, all the liquids flow through the lymph nodes and circulate everything through the body. So when lymph nodes are taken out, it kind of like bumps up the fluids and it can like expand. I did have to do some therapy on my left arm, and I had to wear a sleeve for about a year. And then just one day it was like I didn't have to wear it anymore. So I noticed my arm though swell like when it's really hot outside. That's something that still happens. It has to be like really hot outside. It's just like, ooh, I feel a little pain in my arm. Or if I'm traveling, flying, driving long trips, I'll start to feel a lot of pain in my arm. And maybe it's just because it's going to swell or something. So I usually have to wrap it or something when I travel. And then I guess I have another thing. The last thing that I can think of side effects that I still have. Oh gosh, there's 2 more things. Okay. This is the gross one. My toenails are like really funky. I don't even want to show you. They're just funky. It's like there's a nail and then a nail on top of it, and some are like pointy weird. And I hate my toenails now. But I cannot fix them. I mean, we're talking 8 years later and I still can't fix them. I don't know what the heck, what's going on with my feet, but my toes are just funky now forever. But it is interesting because when I was going through chemo, I had a nurse ask, hey, have your nails lifted, like your fingernails? Like they would check, periodically and just kind of check stuff. And no, they weren't. But it's weird because after my treatments were done, it was like stuff was lifted, like all the stress was lifted, like I did it. I don't have to be in survival mode anymore. Like, I'm okay. I can relax. And then my nails started going, whoa, like, oh my gosh, like freaking out. So that's weird. And then the other thing too, my hair is very curly. I've straightened it. You can see the frizz though of a curly haired girl, right? Yeah. I've always had like wavy frizzy hair. But it was never like tight. I mean, it's not like tight curls, but it's definitely curly. Like I've got curls. So that is something I have from this experience. Really curly hair, which I mean, I'm used to straightening my hair because it was, like I said, wavy and frizzy anyway. So, but yeah, that is a side effect, I guess. But yeah, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. If you have any questions, let me know too. I'm going to take another sip of water. Oh, thanks for following, Roll a Hug. I didn't notice that. I'm new to this Twitch thing, so thank you. So yeah, I think that's about it. But yeah, if you have any questions or need to talk, like, I'm all ears. I know it's not a fun subject, and it's a sad subject, but I just want you to know that it will be okay, and it can be okay. And I feel like part of me, like, wanting to share my story too is just in hopes that it can hopefully help somebody, even if it's just one person. I feel like I was able to get through my experience because I saw my mom, 5 years earlier, get through it. And I was like, if she can get through it, that means I can live too. So it's not a death sentence. So just seeing that helped me get through it. And so I hope that I can share that with you if if you're struggling or know someone who's struggling, to know that you're going to be okay. There's a reason why things happen, and even though the outside people can't always see why it happens, maybe it's obviously not their experience that they have to go through to learn whatever. Unless it's to learn patience, because man, I was needy. But like, I just feel like what I learned is just something I could have not learned having not gone through this. So I'm actually thankful that I went through cancer because of everything I learned about myself going through it. I definitely don't want to go through it again though. Like, no. It freaks me the hell out. I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that again. Yeah, I've had a few scares like, oh, is this something? It's just like, oh no, it's just tissue. It's just your tissue. So, yeah, it's just, you get a whole new perspective of like, like paranoia about stuff. But it's just something, I'll be okay. But yeah. But anyways, I'm here for you if you need to talk or need advice. I'm all ears, and I'll help you any way I can. So, anyways, I'm new to Twitch. This is my second night doing this, and I'm only going to do it twice a week, at least right now. It may change, but I'm going to be talking every Thursday and Friday. So, Thursdays, and I'm going to start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, Thursdays, I've dedicated for makeup artist stuff. I'm a makeup artist, and I want to teach all my knowledge. So I'm going to be giving lessons, makeup artist lessons on Thursdays, and then whatever I think about or want to do with makeup. Maybe I'll do some Halloween looks, coming up. And then Friday, it's going to be whatever's on my mind. So yeah, just whatever's on my mind. So today it was cancer. So yeah, that's my big story. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe and follow. I appreciate your support so much. And it's nice being on Twitch, I gotta say, versus like other like social media things, because social media things, it's like you have such little time to like spill out what you want, and here I feel like I've been able to tell my story. So this is my cancer story. And yeah, cheers to more years. All right, let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, be sure to follow, share with your friends, and thank you again for joining me, and thank you so much for those in the comments. You guys are super nice. I gotta see if I can pronounce you. I'm gonna botch it, and I apologize. Afyanlo0003. I know I did not say that right. Anyways, thank you so much for your comments as well. And then I also want to thank, there was 2 people that followed. I couldn't see one of them, so I'm going to have to go back and see who followed yesterday. But one was like, if you're watching, you got to write it in the comments or something. But I want to thank you for following. It was like Dolphin Bad Tuna or something like that. Anyways, thank you for following as well. And then I'm going to have to see who that other person was. So anyways, thank you for joining me, and I will see you next Thursday. Whoever wants to see the makeup stuff, we're going to go into lesson 2, and I'm probably going to recap lesson 1 because my screen was just like very, very glitchy. It was glitchy. So hopefully tonight it's been okay. So yeah. Anyways, I've talked enough. Anyways, thanks for joining me, and thanks again for everything, you guys. And I'll see you Thursday and Friday next week. All right, you guys have a great weekend and a safe one. All right, bye. I'm not gone yet. Let's see. Okay, bye.